John Schneider, good for him, because they were under 500 into May, and he was not on a nice cold seat. No, it was very similar to what we saw back in 2019 with Dave Martinez and the Washington Nationals.
But maybe we know now why he was on the hot seat. This was a championship team that he was sitting on, and that's what the front office had seen and put together and were expecting. So maybe that's why he was on the hot seat, but this guy deserves it. He's been a great manager.
Yeah.
You can tell his players love him, and they've been performing for him.
Yeah, you know what? This team, I thought at the beginning of the year why I liked them. I love their starting pitching.
You've said this from day one.
I just thought in the East, with the injury to Garrett Cole, that they by far had the best and most consistent starting pitching. Now, that pitching was depleted towards the end. Barrios and Bassett were not active.
Max Scherzer's on the roster.
But when Trey Yesavage came onto the scene, and I thought Game 2, I thought this series was won and lost in Game 2. Max Fried he'd been so good all season long for the Yankees, following a loss, going against this young unknown, unique arm angle, 7-foot high levers. How was he going to handle the pressure of Game 2 against the Yankees? And all of a sudden, it was just like, I felt the series was won that day.
You know why? Because it wasn't that he won the game. Is that he was the most dominant pitcher of the postseason. 5 1/3, no hits, 11 strikeouts. He won the game, and you knew he was looming in Game 5. It changed the psychology of the series. His dominance changed the way you looked at the entire series.
With the exception of the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th innings in Game 3, they outplayed the Yankees in every facet.
Yeah, I agree.
They just did. Now, Shane Bieber didn't have a particularly good start. Varland had a night that every reliever. I'm going to tell you what, you credit a guy, Varland. It's not easy to give up 2 home runs, that home run to Judge, and then 12 hours later you get the ball again. But that might have been the best thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Because as a reliever, you have one of those awful nights, and you have to sit on it for a day or 2 or 3. Sometimes the best thing is you have a bad night, you get right back on that horse again, and then you have some positive reaffirmation. And I thought how hard that was for him, because I would be willing to tell you, if he has half of a heart and really cares, he didn't get a very good night's sleep after Game 3. There is no way. He put his head on his pillow and said, hey, I'm going to forget about it. He woke up, and I'm telling you, from the minute they took the field in batting practice, the fans were haunting him and cheering him.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you hold that last night? Judge is going to get you again. And then to start the game, on top of it, as a reliever, you go out there and you're starting the game. Front and center.
That's why every Hall of Famer in the Baseball Hall of Fame is going, what? He pitched in relief and started the game? The game is so different than any other time in history. You would never have seen this, ever, where a guy pitches the night before, he's going to close a game out, and then he's going to start.
Imagine Dennis Eckersley serves up the home run at 88 to Kirk Gibson. He starts the next day for the Oakland A's.
I mean, I could completely understood this if that was the plan, and the night before Varland came in and went 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. Man, he's riding high. But all of a sudden, you're starting a guy 12 hours later that just gave up 2 bombs.
Yeah, but he didn't give it up. Aaron Judge earned it. It was an amazing pitch, 100 miles an hour on the hands. But he executed.
But Varland wore that. He's going to watch that highlight all night, and I'm sure he did.
I'm glad John Schneider saw between the box score and saw that he actually pitched really well.
The Blue Jays are gearing up for the ALCS, and we're going north of the border to talk about. Do it. Deb?
Talk about it.
Talk about it.
Talk about it.
We're gonna
Talk about it.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
a boot. Kevin, try it.
A boot. A boot it. A boot it.
It's everyone knows it's
I'm
about.
saying Cam's name, so now we're gonna boot it.
Okay, so Deb, what did we learn about the
Yeah.
Blue Jays in their ALDS win over the Yankees?
That they're for real. You know, for the people who are really questioning whether or not how good they were, they're for real. And we've learned that they are going to score runs. This offense is ferocious, man. Like, holy cow. I love, by the way, when a superstar gets a little bit of emotion going, and we saw that out of Vladdy. He was the spark plug to that offense. When your best player is your spark plug, like, good Lord, everybody contributed. Him and Ernie Clement, the only 2 teammates to ever get 9 hits in their first 4 postseason games. They've been unbelievable. Don't strike out, put the ball in play, grind with 2 strikes. They hit home runs, yes, but they also they do what it takes. George Springer, man, like what a year. Like this offense, you look at it, like in Kev, we talked about this, or you talked about this in the meeting a little. They faced a guy who just punched out 12 Red Sox his start before, 8 shutout innings. Well, guess what? The Blue Jays offense is not the Red Sox offense, man. They are something else.
No, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. It's exactly it. And we were seeing that last night when Cam was pitching. Like, man, look, the differences of starts, and he's doing such a great job, but he's only at the low strike. I'm like, these are 2 different lineups than the Red Sox at that moment and this team at this moment. What we learned, Sierra, is that they are for real, okay? Like I told you this yesterday, we talked. We don't watch every single game every single night. There's too much, right? You pick a couple series, we talk about it on the show, we watch a little quick pitch, and then you lock in. The postseason comes, you lock in every single game. End of story. And what you are seeing is a team that I personally, and I'll raise my hand immediately, they are for real. I didn't know that they were this good. I didn't know they were this complete. Every team's got a little hole here and there, and every team's going to want to be perfect here and has an injury here and there. But like you look at this club, I'm like, man, I didn't know all these guys threw a million miles an hour with that kind of stuff. And so sometimes we always talk about the offense of the Yankees slowed down or this. Hey, enough of that stuff. Can we give credit to the staffs? Because it's been a saying forever in this game. Good pitching will stop good hitting. Period. End of story. Trey Turner led the National League in hitting this year at a 304, 305 clip. So say that. 25 years ago, you're not in the top 10 if you're hitting 305, right? You had dudes like Wade Boggs and Tony Gwynn, and they're in 360 and 380. My point to this is the pitching is elite now. It's different. They throw stuff, they move fingers, and they are maxed out. The Blue Jays are for real. They're deep in every aspect. I think Schneider has grown as a manager. There's no stress in him. Like you could see this comfort when he speaks. Even in-game meetings or interviews, you know, that become a little weird at times, but it's awesome to hear, and you see a calmness about them. That's what I think about the Blue Jays, is they are better than people thought, or at least I did, more complete.
Better than people thought, but not better than what I thought.
Not than you two. No,
not at all.
you two have been on them. You're darn right. Ryan was on Oakland and Toronto all year long, and he did a great job. I mean, he really did. He didn't come off either
We're
one
just
of those
fired up.
guys.
You got your passport. And
Yeah.
it's valid and that you can come with us.
Did you check your passport?
It's
I
good.
still
He's
have
fine.
it, but Gina, I'm gonna check it after the show. Gina says it's okay. I'm going straight up with my wife. I
You
haven't even
still
looked at
haven't checked it?
it. Since I played winter ball in Navajo, it's got to be right. 95, 96, 97, Navajo, Mexico. That's 90. That's
Yeah,
37 years
most
ago.
passports are good for 35 to 40 years, so you should be fine.
You're totally fine.
So
Well, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he inked that $500 million extension just after the season started, and he's played like he's worth every single penny in this postseason. I want you both to fill in the blank. Demp, you can go first. Vladdy on the national stage is blank.
A leader. He's a leader. Like, what he's done, his presence, middle of the lineup, right? Look at his defense and his base running, but like, this is your icon. This is your player here, the huge deal. And then he backs it up during the regular season. And in the postseason, he's been absolutely a beast. Like, we haven't seen a series like this where a guy does this in a short series. I mean, this is like Big Papi-esque as far as postseason, you know? You got to do it like in 8 more series in order to be in that same conversation. But for right now, he's
the
that
brakes.
guy.
But-
And yeah, I know I am pumping the brakes on that. I just mean like a series like a Big Papi. Now you do it a bunch more times, and here we go. But just to be that guy, like how many times do we sit on this show or another show or some other sports talk radio or whatever it is or the print, and we talk about how a superstar didn't get it done in the postseason, how this guy, he struggles because of the pressure on his shoulders. Well, guess what? This guy did.
But that's
This
why
guy
I
showed up in
also
that first
picked
round.
them when I was at spring training, because Vladdy told me that he was going to step up and be that vocal leader in the clubhouse this season, that he was going to take it into his own hands. And this is before he signed the contract. So that's why I had
He's
picked
definitely
them.
done that.
to win the World Series.
You're exactly right, Sierra, before that contract. 2021, he was a 22-year-old kid that won the All-Star MVP, the youngest to ever do so. He's been around this game since he's 2.5 to 3 years old, walking the clubhouses. John Lackey told me stories about him, like when Vlad was with Anaheim. You got little Vlad hitting home runs out there in center field. So all these little kids you're seeing dad throw BP to, then they grow into this. He knows the game. He's smarter than his IQ of baseball. He's transferred to third to first to being a Gold Glove first baseman, better defensive, but he's a teammate. He's a leader, like Ryan said. He sits in that dugout, watches every pitch. There was bad calls called against Straw, and he's like, you saw 3-1 pitch was outside, and you saw the body language. He's like, that's okay, that's okay. They had a shot of him yelling that from the dugout. That's leading right there. Let's go, Bo. Stay in the moment. Let's go. That's over. There's no scoreboards. It's about the win and the L. And I think that's what he's done so well, aside from the production and just almost unpitchable at times. But he has grown, and his IQ is right where it needs to be as a young man.
But first, in the American League, Mariners-Tigers Game 5 tomorrow, while the Yankees are done. Let's do a little digging in on that. Another kind of strange season for the Yankees. On one hand, 94 wins, tied for the most in the American League. On the other hand, a season of great promise ends a bit early. The Yankees made their pivot from Juan Soto, seemingly did it successfully. They've transformed their roster with more speed and defense, adding Jazz Chisholm, Cody Bellinger, Ryan McMahon, among others, over the last year and a half. And remember, the rest of the league is trying to. Yankees might be third in payroll, but the Blue Jays are fifth. This is big city corporate baseball as well. Now, the Yankees are fascinating, all right? Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, big power. We could go over a lot of things, and we will, but if you're looking for why they got bounced, this is it. Starting pitching failed them. Luis Gil knocked out in the third inning in Game 1. Game 2, Max Fried shelled 7 runs. Carlos Rodon, third inning, knocked out, shelled 6 runs. Cam Schlittler was excellent, the rookie. Fried and Rodon, big part of the Yankee push financially over the last couple of years. These two are a combined $380 million. That's not Juan Soto money, I know what you're saying, but it's real money, as I say to Dan Plesac, and that's 13 runs in a couple of innings. Beyond that, how did the Blue Jays finish off the division series? Yes, they have Vlad Guerrero, George Springer, they're big-ticket items, big stars. But the Jays bullpenned yesterday to a win. 8 pitchers, no one pitched 2 innings. Bullpenning is a way to go. When it fails, everybody hates on it. I get texts from Al Leiter. When it wins, everybody looks at other things. Admit it. How else did the Blue Jays win? Overall team concept of defense and contact. Now, these 3 things, a lot of overlap in these 3 stats. Contact, whiff percentage, strikeout percentage. Strikeout percentage, you need to strike all 3. Whiff is every single swing. The Blue Jays, by the way, all 3 of these categories, number 1 in Major League Baseball in the regular season. And against the Yankees through this series, it's just not even close. It's all Blue Jays. Last night, it played the way it did in the regular season. Basically, the Blue Jays led all of baseball in fielding run value. The Yankees weren't bad, but they were 13th. That's just a nice Major League play from Vlad Jr. Just a good play, crisp defense, while the signature groaner play from the Yankees came from Jazz Chisholm. Double play ball in the 7th, gets through, and then Ernie Clement running in the Yankees' face. Goes to third with the ball in front of him. Yankees scored 2, got up 4-1. Basically, that's the ball game. But here's 94 wins. No shame in losing for either. But Yankees' expectations are just higher. Along those lines, I've done this for the Blue Jays recently a lot, pointing out that, hey, it's a lot of wins, but not a lot of postseason success, and it feels like there's failure. But here's the Yankees the last 5 years. 92, 99, 82. Okay, that's a bad year. And then 94, and they win the American League pennant. A lost opportunity last year. They had it paved for them. Game 5 of the World Series, that was terrible for the Yankees. But look at this. Here's 94 wins. They tied for the most this year in the American League. Tied for the most wins. Last year, World Series title, or the last World Series title was 2009. You'll hear that in Yankee land. But this is a lot of winning for most clubs.